So, Matt, let's look at what some of those fun stories to tell are. All right?
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job with that. And that perfectly sets us up for what we're going to talk about today. This is week 2 of our series, It's Personal, and we have 2 very simple goals for the next few weeks. We hope that those of you who don't yet follow Jesus will choose to begin following him. And we hope that those of you who do follow Jesus better understand why following Jesus makes sense for you to do.
Exactly right. So, as Matt said, that raises this question, okay?
Okay.
We should probably be talking about. So, what was the starting point of Christianity?
Oh, that's a really good question. And the answer might actually surprise you, Jared, because the starting point for Christianity isn't the story of Jesus. It's actually something God did 2,000 years before Jesus came to earth.
No, hold on. I'm not sure I get that. Let's talk about that.
Okay, let me ask you this. What do you think God would do first if he wanted to start a relationship with people?
Easy. He would send a bunch of rules and instructions for us to follow so we could get it right.
Okay, I would guess that too. That seems to make some sense, but that is not what he did at all. So God began to reveal himself to human beings on his terms, and he did it to one single individual. It was as personal as it could possibly get. And how he revealed himself was the complete opposite of what everybody expected of God.
All right, so let's explain that a little bit.
Okay, well, people back then viewed God kind of like a cosmic vending machine. So their job was to figure out how many quarters they had to put in and, which buttons to push to get what they wanted from God.
Got to be honest, that sounds like a lot what we do.
Well, I think it's pretty normal to think of God that way. I kind of want to figure out the cheat code, that guarantees God's going to do what I want. So how many times should I go to church every month, or how many times a week do I need to pray so he'll answer my prayer?
Oh, I get it. Just press B 7 times and hold B and C and up, and you're on fire. Like that's the NBA Jam cheat code.
Oh yeah, NBA Jam was amazing. Anyway, Mark Price, remember?
En Fuego! Yes,
Anyway, you get the idea. They probably never played. But
they
anyway, we're all looking for a shortcut to get God to do what we want him to do. But we don't meet God on our terms. We have to meet God on his terms.
So I could see how, like, if I think God should do what I want, when I want, and then he doesn't, that I could get really mad and just give up on God altogether.
Oh, yeah. I think that happens a lot, right? And that's the kind of world that God interrupted 4,000 years ago when he appeared in the most personal way to a man named Abraham. And he says to him, hey, Abraham, I've chosen you to start a new nation. And then he tells him, I want you to pack up your family. I want you to move to a new place because I'm about to do something big, but I'm going to start in the most personal way imaginable.
I have to say, that sounds pretty awesome because I would love to be the founder of a nation.
Yeah.
I bet Abraham was pretty psyched.
Yeah. I get you, but not exactly. He wasn't really psyched.
Tell me why you think he wasn't psyched.
Well, because Abraham was really old, like really old, and he and his wife didn't have any kids.
Oh, that'd be
so he couldn't figure out how his family's going to grow to become a great nation. It just didn't make any sense to him.
All right, so what did he do then?
Well, this is where the story gets really personal. God actually showed up to meet with Abraham in person. And listen to what the writer of Genesis told us happened next. He says, God took Abraham outside and he said, all right, look up at the heavens and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. And then so shall your offspring or your kids and grandkids and generations be.
Just stop. Hold up. You can't count the stars, dude. That's impossible.
Exactly. So Abraham had to decide if he's going to believe what God said, even though he couldn't understand how what God said would ever come true. But that's actually, Jared, how God becomes personal. The more we trust God, the more personal he becomes.
I'll be honest with you. That's a game-changing way to think about the relationship with God. But it makes sense that the more I choose to trust somebody, the closer I get to them.
Exactly. So let's pause. And how about we let you talk about that for a minute with your group? Can you think of a time when you trusted someone even when you weren't sure they'd come through for you? And how did that impact your relationship with them?
Yeah. Hey, talk about that. And then we'll come back and discover what Abraham did.